Welcome to the second video. In this video, I will explain how to properly install a safety wire. But before that, let's ask this question. How are these wires securing the fasteners? The principle behind is that these wires are holding two or more fasteners together in a way that when one of the fasteners is trying to come loose or come undone, it is pulling the other fastener tight, not making that fastener to go loose. We have 4 examples in front of you, and we'll discuss why some of the styles won't work. Let's look at the one on the right. It starts from the bottom of this bolt, and it connects to the top of this bolt. So when the wire is pulled this way, in a downward direction, the rotation of this bolt is going counterclockwise. When it's going counterclockwise, it's loosening that bolt. When the wire is pulled up, now it's turning this bolt in counterclockwise direction, which means it's also loosening this bolt. So we're actually loosening both bolts, so it's not going to work. That's why we've got a big X on it. Let's look at the bottom one. It is connected from the top of the left bolt and is connected to the top of the right bolt. Let's see what happens if the wire is pulled that way, to the right. Well, if the wire is pulled that way, it's rotating this fastener in a clockwise direction, which is tightening this bolt. So good, it is going to work that way. Let's see what happens when we pull the wire in this direction. When the wire is pulled this direction, it is turning this fastener in counterclockwise direction, which is loosening. So in case when this bolt is loosening due to vibration, it is going to pull the wire in that direction, which turn this fastener in counterclockwise direction, loosening it. That's why it's not going to work. Let's look at the third example on the left. Well, it is coming straight down from this bolt and connects to the bottom of this bolt, right? So when the wire is pulled that way up, it is turning this fastener in a clockwise direction, which is tightening it. So it's going to work. But when you pull the wire in this direction, what's happening to this bolt? Is it going clockwise, or counterclockwise? What do you think? Well, it's not doing anything because it's straight down, right? It is not at an angle in a way that it's neither pulling it clockwise or counterclockwise. So it's not really doing anything. For that reason, this style is not going to work. Let's look at the final example. It is coming from the top of this bolt to the bottom of that bolt. When you're pulling the wire in a downward direction, it is turning this bolt in a clockwise direction, which is tightening this bolt. If you pull on the wire in an upward direction, now it's turning this bottom bolt in a clockwise direction, again, tightening this bolt. So either direction you pull, it is tightening either one of these bolts. I want you to note the design or the shape of this wire compared to this one. This one, it doesn't matter which direction you pull, it was loosening both bolts. And it has a shape of a regular S, the alphabet S. The one that is tightening in both ways, it has a shape of a reverse S. This is very important. So whenever you do your lock wire between 2 or more bolts, I want you to note the shape of it. If it resembles a regular alphabet S, then you know for sure they're going to be loosening these fasteners. But if you have a shape that resembles a reverse S, then you know you've done it correctly, and it will be tightening both of these bolts. That was the theory behind it. So let's see what it looks like in real life action. Before we start safety wiring, I want to point out the importance of having a right duckbill plier. As you can see, these duckbill plier jaws have a serrated surface, which lets you grab onto the wire and pull it. Should inspect them every time. Make sure they're not worn, doesn't have smooth surface, so it doesn't slip on you. All right, now I'll show you some of the rules when you start safety wiring. I've prepared a 32 thou wire, and this is the bolt that we're going to be using to practice. You can't see it from this angle, but this bolt has one set of hole that's going through. Now, I'm going to put my wire through this bolt, right? Because this wire, this end of the wire is going through the bolt, I'm going to call this end of the wire a through wire. Once I'm halfway, this wire at the back is going to wrap around the bolt. Right? This is wrapping around. Through wire and wrap around. And when you wrap around the wire, this wire, the wire that's wrapping around the fastener should always go under the wire that's coming through. Okay? That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is wraparound wire should be pulled tight to the bolt, leaving no gap. Meaning, I don't want to loosely wrap this around. See this gap? You don't want that. What you want to do is, you see this flat, you want to pull it tight so these lay flat to the surface. That's rule number 2. Pull it tight. Rule number 3 is wraparound wire will meet the 90 degrees with through wire at the hole. Okay? You're going to wrap this wire around, and you want to make a 90 degree with the through wire, and you're going to meet at the hole. Right? This is where you're going to be start twisting. That leads to rule number 4. Always start the twist at the hole. You don't want to start your twist somewhere around here or over there. This wire should always come to the hole, meet with this through wire at 90 degree, and you're going to be twisting. When you're twisting, you should be using 2 index fingers like this, not grabbing it like that, but 2 index finger like this. It helps you to guide the wires properly. 1 under the wire, 1 over the wire. Then you're going to be equally twisting these 2 wires. You don't want to twist one wire, leaving the other wire staying in place. Okay, you are twisting in same motion. Okay, now this is going to lock this wire at the hole. Right? I left the wires as is, and it's staying in its place. So once you've already locked this at 90 degree, as you can see, it is at 90 degree. Now you want to bring that angle in to about 60 to 70 degrees. The reason being is that AC 4313-1B states that the thread, not the thread, but then the twist per inch of the safety wire should be between 6 to 8 twists per inch. Okay, that's 6 to 8 twists per inch. The minimum 6, and the 8 is the maximum. And what I found through my experience is that when you keep an angle between 60 to 70 degrees, so this is 90 degrees, this is about like 60, 70-ish, this is about 80, right? It's not much, but the angle matters, okay? I usually keep it around there. Once you're about 60 to 70 degrees, you're going to achieve between 6 to 8 TPIs, right? So, okay, once I keep that around like 60, 70 degrees, what I'm going to do, rule number 6, you got to pull. You can't just be twisting it like that. See what happened, right? I'm not pulling. I'm just twisting it. It starts to spread, right? So what you have to do is you have to pull on it while you twist. Okay? You have to pull while you twist. If you don't pull, this starts to happen. Right? You can see there are huge gaps. in the thread, in the twist, sorry. You don't want that, okay? So this is how you're gonna be practicing. Okay, you don't have to go to the next fastener, just practice twisting. Okay, oh, this should not come up, it's all right. Okay, pull, keep the angle 60 degrees. Pull 60 degrees. And you should maintain a constant pitch. Meaning, if I was to have a ruler right here with me, right? This is the start, and see where my 1 inch is. I should have between 6 to 8 twists. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and ends right there, right? Found that once I keep the angle in that degree, I'll land right in the middle, which is the optimal, between 6 to 8. So keep practicing this. Once you get comfortable with it, then you can move into actually safety wiring the fasteners. I've mentioned that you want to keep between 60 to 70 degrees to achieve 6 to 8 TPIs, right? Twist per inch. Let's see what happens if I kept it at 90 degrees, angle that was greater than 70 degrees. What's going to happen is that because now the angles are a lot wider, your twist is going to be much close together, making it more than 8 TPI. So, right? Rule number 1, wraparound wire always go under the through wire. Rule number 2, wraparound wire should be pulled tight against the bolt. Perfect, leaving no gap. Number 3, wraparound wire will meet at 90 degree with through wire at the hole. Right? And then rule number 4, you're going to be starting that twist at the hole. Right? I maintained the 90 degree. You see that? I'm going to keep doing that and see what happens. Just have to be mindful of my tripod. But this is my 90 degree. Right? Let me just bring it around this way so you guys can see better. And I'm going to increase that angle to about 100 degree. See what happens. Right? It looks really neat, nicely braided. I will twist about 1.5 inches. All right, here we go. This was twisted at more than 70 degrees in angle, and I can see right off the bat then I have way too many twists. Well, let's see. I have my, let's start. See, this is where like the groove is. Okay, see if you guys can count. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 11 twists. That's way too much. It's creating so much stress in this wire. It's prone to breaking. Okay, under a little bit of stress, it is going to break. Okay, the next scenario is I'm going to, instead of having it wide now, I'm going to close that gap around, like, I don't know, about 30 degrees. But definitely less than 70 degrees, oh, 60 degrees, I'm sorry. Between, let's say, like 40 to 30 degrees. This is 45, I think. So this is about, 40, 20, below 40 for sure degrees. And what this is going to do is that I've decreased the angle, meaning that my twist, right, is going to be larger, which means I'm going to have less twist per inch. And the minimum that I want to achieve is 6, but it's definitely going to be lower than that. So let's see what happens. As you can see, my twist is really big compared to the one that we did before, right? And I only have to twist about 4 to 5 times to achieve an inch and a bit, 1.5 inches. So let's see. I'm going to start right there where the big twist starts. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't complete 5 yet, so it's more like 4.5, right? So there it is. If you decrease the angle, you're going to increase the size of a twist, meaning you're not going to achieve that minimum TPI. If you increase the angle, then you're going to decrease the length of the twist. Therefore, you're going to have more twist per inch. Another example that I want to show you is if I didn't twist both wires at the same time, but if I was twisting only one wire around the other wire, let's see what happens. I'm going to leave this wire constant in stationary, and okay, let me lock the focus again, and I'm just going to wrap this wire around. Okay, this can happen because you get tired, and your one arm is definitely stronger than the other, and then this is what happens. It looks very inconsistent, and you can clearly tell that the other wire wasn't twisting, and then the other wire is wrapping around this center wire like a vine, right? We don't want this. We want to twist them together, right? Always use your index fingers, one under, one over, and twist same time. Once you've had enough twisting practice, now you can start on your module. What you see is the group A. This one's a little bit tricky because the distance between these bolts are long, which means you have to maintain the constant tension. The students do struggle a little bit to keep that tension the same. Unlike the one that we practiced for twisting, these bolts are a little bit different. They look definitely different. It's got the hole right in the middle. We call them an engine bolt because it's got sets of holes on all sides. It's got 3 sets of holes. One that's going through this way, that way, which in turn it makes it easier for you to lock wire because there are so many options. Let me show you what I mean by having multiple sets of holes. As you can see, you have holes on all flats, right? Compared to the one that you practiced, or I practiced, it only has one hole right there, and the other ones are it doesn't have it. Just one set of hole that's going through the bolt. Now this one has 2 sets of holes, 90 degrees to each other, right? Now, when it comes to lock wiring these special bolts, you want to make sure that you always make a cross, okay? For the one that you practice, you only had to go in one way. The other one was a wraparound. However, these bolts, because you have multiple options, one wire will go through and the other wire will also go through the next hole. And then they will start twisting over here or here, wherever you choose to. That's one special thing about this. Now, let's talk about how long of a wire you should be preparing to lock wire this. The way I like to determine the length of a wire that I need to prepare for a certain fastener group is that grab a lock wire and I roughly estimate, eyeball, the length between, or the distance between, I'm just going to make it straight, the distance between the first bolt and then the last bolt. And then I pretty much quadruple length, okay? So that's double, and there's another 3 times and 4 times, right? Right about there, I cut it. That's how much of a wire length I need to do the job for this one. Once you've prepared the wire, you can either start from this end or that end. It doesn't really matter. As long as you maintain that reverse S shape, then you're okay. So I'm gonna put a wire through, And I'm going to put another wire through right there because I need to start here. If I was to put it in there, well, my wire is going to poke out here, which means I have to start from this flat, not that. So I'm going to be putting in through there. Gently guide those wires out evenly. Okay, pull it with your hand. Okay, if you want, grab the end of the wire and give it a little tug. And the other wire, tug as well. Okay, good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the wraparound. See how this is wrapping around by the corner? The wraparound wire should always go under the through wire. Okay? You want to make a 90-degree. Okay, you want to do a 90-degree. You want to pull it. Okay, you want to pull it. So it's tight, 90-degree. And you're going to start twisting at the hole. Okay, it is very important that you start twisting at the hole. The twist starts from the hole, not in between, at the hole. The way that you do this is you should always be pulling it towards you, okay, and twist both wires. Sorry, I had to move my tripod out of the way. I wasn't able to twist. So here we go. So another pull very hard and twist. Twist, twist. That consistency, meaning you should keep your angles same all the time. If you do it 90-degree one, looser in the other, so on and so forth, then you're going to have an inconsistency of twist. Here it will be tighter, more twists. Here it will be looser, lesser, sorry. And you don't want that. Consistency is a key, okay? Always keep that angle every time you twist. Every time you twist, you want to keep that angle. All right, and I want to go to here and here. So I'm about a twist and a half short. Okay, I think I'm there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you always kind of want to put your top wire through, and the bottom wire should be wrapping around. When you wrap around the wire, remember what I said, the wraparound wire should always be at the bottom of the through, right? Just going to put that there, and then the flat right next to it, not the one over, right next to it. Okay, right there. Use your duckbill, all right, and then guide it. Always guide it, otherwise it's gonna start to twist, and you're gonna have to cut it and do it again. Because once these the wire's been worked, it's already been kinked, you kind of undo it. Okay, let's guide it. All right. Okay, so give it a really nice pull, and here as well, the other wire. Give a really nice pull, really nice pull right there. Okay, I'm shaking, right? What I'm going to do is that since I'm going to start from this hole, right, this wire, it needs to be wrapped around that corner, right? So it has to go under, not over, under. Okay, so same idea. You don't want to start right there. You want to bring that wraparound wire like so, a 90-degree, and twist at the hole. And once you got that one twist, bring it down to, again, 60 to 70 degrees, and continue on with your twist. Now I'm there. I'm gonna go put it right through this hole. Okay. Now I'm gonna make my pigtail this hole, not the other one, this hole, right? Which means I have to wrap this around that flat, which means this wire is gonna go under this wire. The idea is exactly the same. Okay, once you have about like 8 twists, that's good. You don't have to get all the way down there. Okay, once you're done that, okay, you're gonna cut it about 4 to 5, right? When you're cutting, make sure you hold on to it so it doesn't fly out. Okay, like so. Right, and the way we finish it is you are going to continue the direction the way that it was turning. See how it is coming this way, that way, and it's keep rotating that way. So the pigtail has to be that way, not the other way. It's that way to make it tight. So the way that I like to do it is, see how this says the length here, right? You want to grab it just before the half line. Okay, you want to grab it just before the half line. Half line, just before the half line. Grab it and pull and twist. Okay. I might have made it kind of short, but it's okay. Okay, and then you have to tuck it in. Okay, you tuck it in so that I'm not catching my finger whatsoever. This has to be in line. See how flat this is, right? I'm not catching my finger. It's got to be like that, right? So let's measure my twist. Start right there. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. Got 7 twists right in the middle between 6 and 8. Again, same idea here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Consistent. This is what we want. The pigtail that way, as well as your straight, tight. Okay. There we go. Next one, we have a triangle combination here. This can be a little bit tricky, especially when you're the whole location isn't set properly, but the idea is exactly the same. I want to have a reverse S, reverse S. So my hole lines like this. Just grab my right there, and right there. I'm going to tell you to just pause the video and see in this configuration how you would lock wire properly. So how I would do this is I would start my wire through there, right? I'm going to start my twist, okay? So I'm going to poke my wire through the other wire that's hanging, got to wrap around this side, okay? Go under the wire that is through, start my twist to make that backward S going on, go through there, right? Come out, and then the other wire can go this end, Okay, let me just focus up, and then come out this end, and then again backward S, poke it through there, and have my pigtail right there. Okay. Once you got about like 3 twists, what you want to do is you want to start pulling it the way that you want to go. You don't want to go straight out, okay, for too long. Okay. Okay, now you have a situation here where if you were to go this way, I'll show you what happened. Okay, I'll show you this in multiple scenarios. I'll show you all 3 scenarios. I'll go ahead and wrap it around this way because it's quite natural for this wire to go that way because it was continuing this way. It's very awkward to go the other way. So see how I've done my twist here, and because I have to bring this wire over to this side, so I have to start going this way. But see, as I'm pulling this way, see what's happening to this wire. Right, it's making it loose because it went that way, but I'm going the opposite, so this becomes really loose, and it's it's creating this kind of situation, where this wire is so loose that it will go over like that, right? This should not happen. It should be properly secured and locked against the bolt, right? So we can't have this situation. What are we going to do now? So either you bring the wire to the other side, this wraparound wire to the other side, or you can have it go over the top of the bolt. That's okay too, right? So I'll show you. I cut this wire and I'll redo it, and I'll resume the video when I'm at that point. Now, this is a scenario too where I brought this wraparound wire instead of that side, right? It didn't work, remember? It was making it loose. It feels awkward when you bring it over here because it is the top wire, right? It's the top wire, so you have to fold and go in this way, and under that through wire, always the wraparound wire, remember, it always has to go under the through wire. But what that's going to do, so even if I pull it, because I'm pulling it in the same direction, is actually making everything tight. Okay. Gonna make a pigtail. Reason why we call it a pigtail because it looks like a pigtail, right? About 5 to 6 right there. This is halfway. Grab it just before halfway. Pull and bring it over. Okay, like so. See how this is sticking up? So just gotta do is squish it so I'm not catching my finger. Okay, this is it. All right, so this is a third style, right? Exactly the same, but look at the difference in the middle. Instead of going around the side, what I did was that the wire that was supposed to go either or, I just came straight over the bolt and then put that under the through wire that doesn't change because you're still wrapping the bolt. And I started my twist here, and then yeah, finish the way that I'm supposed to finish. This sums up our safety wire installation video. There's no shortcut to this. Mastering the skill is one of the fundamental things you need to acquire as an AME. Hope this video helped to get started. I look forward to seeing your work. Be sure to subscribe and like my page to get more updates.